I don't trust unmarried women around my husband. In fact, what would be your purpose in life if you don't get married? You're gonna live unhappy and you're only gonna have your cats to take care of you. In fact, who is gonna take care of you if you don't get married? When are you getting married, actually? Before you start typing that paragraph, those are some of the things that I read whenever I see a video of someone saying that they don't want to get married. This is something that I've been seeing quite a lot, or maybe it's just on my For You page, but a lot of people are starting to come out and say that the marriage life is not for them, men and women. And honestly, their reasons are valid. And today we're going to be discussing that. Like, we're going to be talking about what society says, some of the uphill battles that people that don't want to get married have to go through just because of that decision, some of the benefits of not getting married, and some of the benefits of getting married. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, let's get right into it. For a lot of women, actually everywhere in the world, you're almost trained or raised to take care of a man. Especially within African household, as a young girl child, you are being told to wash properly, because after you're gonna live with your husband and you're gonna have to learn how to wash properly. You have to learn how to cook at a younger age than your brothers per se, because you have to learn how to cook for your husband. Your husband's gonna send you back if you don't know how to do those things. Not only that, even the movies that we'll watch of the young little girls, playing about, some sort of marriage, and then they grow up and then that's what they do exactly. No one gets to ever change their mind about marriage. So for most of us, marriage has definitely been shoved in our faces with everything that we do, everything that we're centered by, our ages even, because once you reach the whole age of 30, once you're 30, you can't have kids, you after no one wants to marry you, all that kind of stuff. We've really been oppressed in a way, when it comes to that. So for a woman to be out there saying that she doesn't want to get married, oh, that is taboo for some people. That is something they do not want to hear, because somehow people feel very entitled to women's decisions, and somehow our decisions don't really matter to them. But anyway, I digress. So as one of those people as well, growing up, I was like, marriage, and I had never seen a woman in her 50s not married. Like, she would either had to be divorced or a widow. But to actually see, well, you would, but then there will always be rumors that she's probably a witch. Every time she's probably a witch, because why are you living by yourself? That's weird. But when I came to France, the people I met, it was such an eye-opening experience, because it's wow, so marriage isn't really the end or it all, because it was well, if you don't get married, then how do you plan your life? Because you plan your life according to getting a man. That's when you start living, that's how it's been said, that's where you start really living, when you start having kids. Otherwise, you've just growing out in your 20s, you don't really have a plan. But once you get married, now you're settling down, now your life begins. So seeing women here who are just thriving and living life in their 50s was definitely a shocker. It was a cultural shocker for me. What is it called? A cultural culture shock. Yeah, culture shock, definitely for me. I think that marriage is definitely decreasing in more of the Western world. Obviously, amongst the millennials and even some Gen Z, or even some older generations, because I see in religious countries, being married is still very much valid, still very much happening, because it is taboo to live with someone, opposite your sex, unmarried. It's still seen very much as taboo. So people are getting married for that reason only. But so we really can't say a lot of people are genuinely getting married for, for love. No. There's some people, there's your sevens, okay? Do we even need to get into that? Right? Where people are solely getting married just for the money, for the financial stability, or they're just getting into it because their culture says so, because their parents say so. Forced marriages are still happening. So there is definitely a decrease on people genuinely falling in love and getting married. So because this is happening, a lot of men are angry, because they feel like they're not in control anymore. They feel like maybe the population will end if women don't get married. I mean, with the whole fourth wave happening, I think, I'm not sure where is it, but in one of the Asian countries where women are just not having kids anymore, like they're just like not, no kids, and like there's like a whole lost generation happening right now, and it's actually pretty shocking how committed they really are. It's absolutely amazing, this new way of thinking of not wanting marriage and not centering it on your life is really making some men mad, because they generally feel entitled to how you live your life, and it's actually quite scary and quite weird.
Number 2, a man's success isn't defined by marriage, a woman's is. Okay. Our success is defined by the success we create for ourselves. Your success is defined by, can you get a husband? Did you procreate? Because let's just say, even if you got rich, if you never procreated as a woman and was a mother, you're a failure.
And as I wrote a whole essay, but as I wrote, I just want to quote myself. It says, men, when they hear a woman that doesn't want to get married, they can't comprehend that a woman can find happiness or can be well content with life without a husband, as they believe that is the point of a woman's life. Yeah. And it also like threatens their legacy thing. Men with legacy, they want a son, they want a son. So if they hear women don't want to, be married anymore, they kind of think, oh my gosh, the race of men is gonna decrease or something like that. Their name won't be able to go on and on. Yeah, things like that. And another force that's really like hindering people for being really open and honest about not wanting to get married are the families, the parents, right? Like I've been seeing a lot of videos of people showing their African parents, like why them sending like, when are you getting married? Like you can, when are we meeting? Or our son-in-law. It's almost like very weird because for most African women, you grow up being trained to be someone's husband, and then also at the same time they don't want you to even date boys. Like you're not allowed to even talk to a boy, and all of a sudden they want you to introduce them to your future husband just like that, when they've never given you the liberty to meet people. It's so weird. In fact, because they want you to get married so bad, because of the legacy, because of how their friends see them, they put pressure on you, right? They put pressure on you because their friends' children are getting married, they're getting, grandchildren, they're getting all this, no grandchildren, now they're getting married, they're putting pressure on you, right? They're putting pressure on you, and so that you can settle down, right? Because they believe that you just working, having your bag, all that kind of stuff. This to men and women, having your bag is you not settling down, is you not having sense, because only once you get married, you start to live life for them as well, because you're really doing it for them so that they can show off to their friends like, oh, my son has gotten married, all that kind of stuff. It's all for them. It's not for you. It's not for your benefit. It's not what you want. Also, miserable people. Yeah, they want you to be miserable with them. There definitely are people that are in marriages that are miserable, that will encourage you to get married so that you can be miserable with them, because a miserable people love company. That's the truth. Sometimes it definitely does happen that way. And also, marriage just not being really beneficial to women most of the time. Like there was I'm not sure if this study is actually quite valid, but like you look it up. But like men tend to live longer when they get married than women. The stress, all that kind of stuff. So now women are just kind of like, well, there's really no benefit for me here. There really isn't. So why? So these are all just hindering factors, right? For people to just live out their best lives without society judging them. I couldn't help but think of like the downside of not getting married though, but like, yeah, you take it with a grain of salt. And the first thing that came into my head was like the baby mama culture that's also on the rise, really. Like there's a lot of people that are having children without the commitment of marriage, and it's really sad because it's creating a lot of broken homes. A lot of children are being raised without fathers, without mothers, and it's really not good for the society. Like in as much as some people, that's the excuse, like, yeah, marriage is a huge commitment, all that kind of stuff, like, but isn't a child like a bigger commitment? Like, I always find that weird. Like, that's a pretty weird argument. Yeah, the family unit is definitely getting broken, and that's the one thing that the devil loves to do, is to break the family unit. You not making that commitment to be with that one person and have a child with them later on, because that's where you see some people that say they don't want to get married. A lot of people, they don't want to remain celibate. They still want to go and do everything to everyone and make children, and those children end up not having parents, a two-parent household, and that really leads to a broken society. So to the people that don't want to get married, you have to think, how are you making sure to keep your seeds within you and not create all these children that you don't want to take care of, in as much as your feelings are valid for not wanting to get married. Don't mess around with people's children. Don't mess around with God's children, right? Trying to put your seed everywhere out there, because at the end of the day, not wanting to get married is not like a sin or anything like that. I mean, even Paul doesn't want to get married, didn't want to get married. It's not that serious, but he does talk about, if there is pressure in you, you really want to F around, but also that I don't like that, because it's like other people now only want to get married just to have sex, and it's not a very good reason to do that, is it? No. Yeah. And another downside is it creates more of an individualistic society. Again, why do I say this? How does this connect to it? I didn't think of this before until I saw this video of this lady who's single and has single friends. When her friend got married and had a kid, they started to not invite her to things because they were like, yeah, but you're always bringing your baby. You always bring your baby, and this lady had to be cut off from her friends and, be by herself basically, because these people that are single that don't want to get married would just prefer other people that are not married and not want to build a community with other different people. So I guess that's one of the fears that other people have of people that are unmarried, that as soon as I now get married, they want to cut me off. I don't know, but I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, but it's just like one of those things as well. Another very valid reason why people don't want to get married is the divorce rates. Have you seen the divorce rates lately? I saw in France it's 55%. 55% chance of getting divorced if you get married today. And that is honestly very, very high compared to other countries where it's like around 50%. It's very, very high. So people are not willing to risk that. And they've also known how, divorce really impacted their families, how they grew up and how it hurt them. They don't want that to happen, right? So that's why they're not going to get married. Also, the whole bureaucracy within getting married as well, paperwork, all that kind of stuff. Some people don't even want to get into that. Although I find that kind of weird, because it's like you claim to love, like I remember watching this video. I know I'm always talking about videos that I watch, but like anyway, there was this lady, right? She has been with this man for 7 years. They're not married, and he has bought all these assets in his name, but she's there doing all the work, doing all the work at his business, all that kind of stuff. So if they break up, she has nothing, but she has been working, helping him attain all these assets, and she has absolutely nothing. That's why some people don't want to get married, because they don't want to share their resources. So you always have to wonder, like, the person that you're with as the person that wants to get married, and it's a person, and then you're in a relationship with someone that doesn't want to get married. Like, you have to ask them, like, why? Like, and if their reasoning is like the whole paperwork and money and finances and stuff, like, do they really love you then? Like, they don't want to share that with you, the person that they claim to love. That's always so weird. And why are people acting like prenuptial agreements don't exist? Like, I don't understand that. But anyway, I digress. And now the upsides, I guess, to not getting married. I mean, freedom, yay, absolute freedom. You can do whatever you want. You can get up, go do, you can literally, you can do whatever you want without ever consulting to anyone, all that kind of stuff, all that great stuff. And there is definitely a guaranteed happiness. No one's gonna, break your heart, I guess. Not that, not being married, that means that you staying single always. I mean, you'll be dating around, all that kind of stuff. But there's also that guarantee, like, you probably won't have that huge divorce type of heartbreak. That's what I would like to think. And also finances, because you really like just working for yourself. There's no kids involved. There's not another person that you have to pay for, especially for men. This can be beneficial to them. Like, y'all make the most money. Like, you know, so you don't have to share that with anyone. You don't have to take care of anyone. Your bills are your bills. You're working to get your vacation, all that kind of stuff to create wealth. It's all for you. Also just time and health as well. For a lot of people, marriages really do take away their time because they're not taking care of the other person. Especially for women, they just be the caretaker to the other person, to the other full-grown human being who can do all those things by themselves. But you know, because they're married now, they have to take care of everybody, and it's just so draining. So that's where you might consider not want to get married, because you might have then more time on your hands. And there's obviously other benefits, like you can tell me down below what are the benefits of not getting married that there are, but it is what it is, and I think it's cool. I think it's fine, like whatever, you know, like it's weird to be offended by someone saying that they won't get married, you know, it's a weird thing. But yeah, it's happening. It's happening, always happening. Tell me what you guys think about this video. It was a definite random one, but like, yeah, I'll be down there with you. See you guys next time. Bye.